In 19th century, rural England lived a wealthy young lady envied by the whole town, Emma Woodhouse, blessed with striking beauty and a sharp mind. She was born into comfort and security. She never needed to toil for a living, nor rely on anyone to survive. Emma lost her mother at an early age, and her only elder sister married and moved far away. Left alone on the vast estate with her sensitive father, she took charge of all household affairs while still young, growing resolute and independent as time passed. Her privileged life granted her sharp insight, yet it also nurtured an unnoticeable conceit deep in her heart. Her greatest delight lay in matching single men and women around her. Convinced her knack for reading people was flawless, she believed she could see everyone's hidden desires and effortlessly shape their fates and romances. At the story's opening, Emma had just successfully arranged the marriage between her former governess and Mr. Weston. Witnessing others find happiness thanks to her matchmaking inflated her self-confidence to an extreme. She was certain she possessed an innate talent for pairing lovers and could never make a mistake. Fooled by this overblown self-assurance, she met Harriet Smith, an orphan with a tragic background. Innocent and easily led, gentle and compliant, Harriet had no opinions of her own and wholeheartedly admired and depended on Emma. Filled with a fierce urge to protect the helpless young girl, Emma resolved to reshape Harriet's life.
It's a very good letter.
Dear Miss Woodhouse, do advise me. Do you think I ought to refuse it?
Driven solely by her subjective bias, Emma forced Harriet to break off her tender, sincere romance with Robert Martin, the farmer who loved her deeply. In her narrow worldview, social standing, rank and wealth mattered far more than genuine affection between two people. She deemed the mild-mannered clergyman Mr. Elton Harriet's perfect match. She threw herself wholeheartedly into bringing the two together, creating countless opportunities for them to spend time alone. Lost in her self-crafted perfect plan, she failed to notice a truth plain to everyone else. Mr. Elton had never harbored the slightest fondness for the low-born Harriet. One day, Emma and Mr. Elton shared a carriage ride, and the clergyman could no longer conceal his true feelings, laying his heart bare.
I must avail myself of this precious opportunity to declare sentiments. I am ready to die if you refuse me.
I have no thoughts of matrimony at present.
This sudden confession shattered Emma's long-held sense of superiority. For the first time, she realized her vaunted perceptiveness was nothing but a ridiculous product of her vanity. She had meddled and ruined her friend's destined happiness through her flawed judgment. Mr. Knightley alone had watched all these events unfold with quiet clarity. A longtime family friend older than Emma, he was steady, perceptive, and upright, the only person in town bold enough to point out every flaw in her character. He never flattered her beauty or fortune, but sincerely urged her repeatedly to abandon her unmasked arrogance and arbitrary ways. Mr. Knightley, you are far too self-assured, always meddling in others' lives. Your well-meaning intentions curdle into hurtful pride. Emma retorted defensively. I am only helping my friends build better lives. This frank, sharp argument left a faint rift between them and stirred unshakable uncertainty in Emma's unyielding heart for the very first time. The town held a grand ball, where all villagers attended in fine dress, filling the hall with laughter and chatter. Timid and insecure, Harriet stood isolated on the fringe of the crowd, no one stepping forward to ask her to dance. Emma watched her friend suffer under whispered gossip, overwhelmed with guilt. Just as Harriet teetered on the brink of tears from embarrassment and despair, Mr. Knightley cut through the bustling crowd, walked to her side, and offered his arm for a dance. Casting aside class prejudice, his dignified, gentle gesture rescued her and preserved what little self-respect she had left. This quiet display of profound kindness etched itself into Emma's mind. She truly saw Mr. Knightley's inherent goodness, integrity, and rare, gentlemanly grace for the first time. As the ball reached its peak, the crowd parted to either side. Emma and Mr. Knightley stood side by side at the center of the dance floor, moving slowly to soft music. Their graceful, unhurried steps closed the distance between them, melting away all past quarrels, estrangement, and clashing tempers with every quiet sway of their bodies. Their close gazes and synchronized footsteps stirred an unfamiliar, burning warmth inside Emma. She slowly understood that this man, who never hesitated to call out her faults, was the one who knew her best, accepted her fully, and stood steady beside her. Soon afterward, the charming young Frank Churchill returned to town warm, thoughtful and eloquent. Everyone in the village assumed he had fallen head over heels for Emma. Briefly drawn to his lively, witty personality, Emma playfully went along with the town's teasing about their supposed match. Meanwhile, the gifted, reserved Jane Fairfax came back to the village, sparking unwarranted jealousy in Emma, who viewed her with ingrained prejudice from the start. The turning point that pushed Emma to full self-awareness and inner growth arrived at a picnic in the countryside. As the party chatted merrily, the kind-hearted Miss Bates rambled on about trivial daily matters, awkward yet earnest in every word. On a whim, Emma tossed out a cutting joke that pierced Miss Bates' fragile pride deeply. Emma jested cruelly.
no account in
Miss
the world.
Bates, you are
It is the
quite
very last
gifted
thing I
at
would stand the
talking
brunt
without
of just now.
pause. Miss Bates bowed her head in humiliation, her voice trembling. I suppose I talk far too much and bore everyone.
I must.
Joy vanished instantly. The whole group fell dead silent. Everyone witnessed the arrogance lacing Emma's words, yet her vanity prevented the wealthy young lady from apologizing on the spot. After the picnic ended, Mr. Knightley set aside his usual gentleness to condemn her conduct with unsparing severity. Mr. Knightley, you behaved inexcusably today. She is humble, kind, and harms no one, yet you exploit your privileged birth to trample her dignity. That is not intelligence. It is shallow conceit. His heartfelt rebuke struck Emma like a hammer, jolting her out of her self-absorption. She returned to her empty estate and Saturday awake all night, reflecting. At last, she clearly saw all her flaws, though blessed with wealth, beauty, and sharp wit. She lacked humility and empathy for others. She fancied herself benevolent, yet her excessive vanity constantly wounded pure, kind people around her. That day, Emma visited Miss Bates' cottage, overcome with remorse, to beg for forgiveness. The
I'm so
gentle
very
Miss Bates
sorry.
saw Emma's growth and granted her absolution. Then fate placed her in an awkward predicament. Frank Churchill, whom she had believed devoted and light-hearted, was secretly engaged to Jane Fairfax all along. Every tender gesture and warm advance he'd shown her was merely a ruse to hide his secret betrothal and deceive others. Once more, Emma became the subject of town gossip. Yet what shook her to her core was Harriet, the girl whose love life she had manipulated and misled for months. Gradually, Harriet had grown fond of the reliable, tender Mr. Knightley. When Harriet openly confessed her affections, overwhelming panic washed over Emma. In that moment, she realized she was deeply, irreversibly in love with Mr. Knightley, the man brave enough to criticize her flaws and wait faithfully by her side. Emma sought out Robert Martin and urged him to win Harriet back, for the two truly loved one another. All conflicts resolved, every hidden secret laid bare, Frank and Jane stayed faithful to their engagement. Harriet returned to Farmer Martin's side. Emma let go of her sense of superiority, faced her true feelings, and reciprocated Mr. Knightley's love wholeheartedly. True wisdom never lies in manipulating other people's destinies. It consists of mending one's own arrogance and treating every person and every love with equal humility.